Accessorizing for winter is a tricky game. Depending on the amount of cold you are faced with, the location, activities you will be doing, and how your existing outfits look like, choosing the right winter accessories can be tough. That's why in this first episode we will be looking on how to choose and style hats, scarves and gloves so they go well with your wardrobe and also serve you as long as possible. Hats, like any other item in your look, can be a basic element or a statement one. A basic hat is the one that has a classic shape, no extra details, and neutral color like black, gray, navy, camel or white. A statement hat is the one that has an unusual shape or extra details like flowers, pompons or slogans, and also it can have a bright or accent color like in these examples. Whatever option you choose, it should go with your outwear. If your winter jacket has a neutral color, you can choose to wear a rather basic or a statement hat to accentuate your outfit. But if your outwear has a bright color and already works as the color accent in your outfit, it's better to go with a basic hat to avoid an overcomplicated look. Of course, there are different types of hats and you might love to wear some of them, but there is one type that suits almost everyone, and it's a thick or medium thick beanie with a lapel that has a little volume and space on top. Besides, it fits to all kinds of outwear, so it's quite versatile as well. Another universal option can be a knitted voluminous beanie. It has a similar shape to the previous example, but it usually has no lapel. Now let's look at some hats that don't really fit anyone, or the ones that are out of fashion, so you also understand what not to buy. A hat like this that is very thin doesn't fit anyone in my opinion. It's too tight and make your head look kind of flat. Hats with furry pompons are also out, but for example a knitted pom-pom beanie is great for casual or sporty looks. Hats that have huge logos are not beautiful at all. You will look like a walking piece of advertising. In my opinion, hats with weird slogans are also not a very smart purchase, as you might not feel like a bay or a sleigh next year. And last, hats that have no shape at all also don't fit anyone. We can see in the stores hats made out of cotton, wool, cashmere, mix of wool and synthetics, or polyester. We already talked about all these materials in previous videos that I will link in the description. And I hope you remember that wool is the warmest possible option. We can divide all winter scarves into 4 types. To understand which one you should choose, you need to look at your outwear once again, because it all depends on what kind of color you have on your jacket or coat. If you have a down jacket similar to this, the best option would be a thin and narrow scarf that will not add more volume and keep the right proportions. Also, if your winter coat has any extra elements that you don't want to cover, you should choose this kind of scarf and wear it tucked in. For down or wool jackets like these ones that have big noticeable lapels, it's better to go with the thin and narrow or medium thick and medium wide options and wear them tucked inside. If your winter coat has small and flat lapels, you can go with the medium thick and medium wide option and wear it something like this. Or you can choose to wear a thick and wide options like these ones. The color of your scarf should suit your color type, as it's very close to your face and it influences the way you look. Should it be the same as the color of your hat? Not necessarily, although if it does, I don't see anything wrong with it. But if you want to make your look a little more interesting, you can play with color and texture. If you like monochromatic looks, you can try to choose the hat and the scarf in different shades of the same color. You can also use only neutral colors and match them together. One more option could be color blocking by simply combining 2 contrasting colors. If you would like to learn what colors suit you and how to create beautiful color combinations for your outfits, I would advise taking the Wonder Wardrobe online course or color harmony class. And don't be afraid to mix and match different textures. It can also add up a special touch to your outfit when done right. We can also distinguish a few types of gloves. Cuff leather or suede gloves without any lining are not very warm, so it's better to wear them in autumn or spring. Leather gloves that have wool or cashmere lining are one of the warmest options. They will protect you from very windy and cold weather. Leather as a material is not the most eco-friendly option, not to mention the ethical aspect of killing an animal for gloves. But if you decide to buy leather gloves after all, please consider getting vegetable tanned leather, as it's a more eco-friendly option. Or you can easily find nice and good quality leather gloves in vintage or second-hand shops. If you would like to learn more about choosing leather goods, check out my other video on leather. Also keep in mind that leather doesn't like water, which means that this kind of gloves are not good for winter activities that involve touching snow. So if you're often out having fun in the snow, it's better to wear gloves made out of polyester or nylon that will protect you from water, wind, and keep you warm. Another great option for winter can be woolen gloves. I would say that the ones that made out of merino wool or a mix of sheep wool with merino are the best options. This is because merino wool is very warm and it doesn't peel, so it's the most durable option. Cashmere wool is warm and durable as well, but only if it's of good quality, which is very hard to tell nowadays. When selecting the color for your gloves, you can choose from these options. The first option is pretty easy, and I think it works the best if your outwear is black, navy or brown. If you prefer the second option, you can once again create monochromatic, neutral or contrasting combinations like shown in these examples. That's all for this episode of Winter Accessories. On the next ones, we will take a look at the best options for tights, socks, bags and shoes. And I hope it will make it easier for you to choose something that keeps you warm and happy. Please let me know in the comments, how do you style your winter accessories? Any tips, any tricks that you would like to share with us? Any classics that withstood the test of time and style? Let me know in the comments and let's chat. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.